that's really high risk. I think like that's the biggest myth, that everyone's kind of really scared of alts, because it's like super high risk. You have a really high
Mm,
risk of losing all your money. And I'm like, well, that's in every investment, you know. There's always a possibility of loss, but I think that the concept that it's super high risk is strange, because in the private space, there's all these little triggers that can be pulled along the way that de-risk the investment solely because it's privately held, and you're actively participating in it. So, based on how you're invested, there's the ability to pull active tax incentives, which significantly reduces your overall risk. If you have no at risk capital and all the equity upside, then like that's you have a risk free investment. Um, and I don't think that people talk about that enough. You also have more control of the opportunity. So, for me, when we made a large debt investment, we were able to um, leverage that control when things got really bad, to come in and then own the assets and have the opportunity to turn the situation around. You don't get to do that in a publicly traded stock where, if the company CEO makes a crazy tweet and tanks half the value of the company, like there's nothing that you can go in and do and try to fix, unless you're a significant shareholder. Uh, you're kind of just out of luck. Uh,
mhm.
and in the private space, not necessarily so. Like, even if you're a small equity partner, there's still an opportunity for you to go into leadership and say, like, hey, if I have expertise in this space, hey, I'd like to do this, that, and the other thing, or I'd like to contribute more capital, or, there's more opportunities, I think, to save a situation in private assets than there are in other traditional assets. The same in real estate, you can always hold it longer, sell it, improve it, sell it, like there's
Mhm.
things you can do when you're actively participating. And I think like that's the biggest misconception about privacy, is that it's too high risk for me to
Yeah,
do. I'm
yeah.
going to lose all my money. Again, if you're investing 10 to 20% of your money in alternatives, okay, and historically your traditional assets deliver a 8 to 12% return left untouched, right? Then you make up that loss in a year or two. So it's about shifting that mindset of like, it's too risky, I'm going to lose all my money. Don't invest all your money.
Yeah.
Invest a little bit of your money and take the risk, because the return potential in that space is 3 to 5x conservatively. So, it's just pausing a minute and like trying to break through what the communication is, the mismarketing in the space.